everyone, it's Sammy from Sammy's Sweet Life, and I've got Cloudlet with me. I did end up snapping a couple of quick photos. He is playing with the tennis ball, so he is super excited. He's chilling in the floor, but he might make a lot of noise. I do have a few prizes left from Vlogmas, so please check the community tab on this page and make sure that your name is not there, because I think I still have 3 winners that have not contacted me at all. I've emailed them. The names are posted on that list. I really would love to send your prizes out. Today we are talking Pillow Chat. It is the first Pillow Chat of 2024, so Happy New Year. This is the first video I'm actually sitting down in person filming after the new year. So hello, welcome. I'm very excited to kick off this year, and I have done so good. So this is just like a good, bad, and ugly type of thing to talk about, and I'm just not in a great mood personally right now because I had a migraine yesterday. That's him with his tennis ball. Hopefully you can see him down in the corner a little bit. There's like a fuzzy thing moving back there. He's going to the groomer on Saturday. Oh, he knows I'm talking to him. Yes, buddy. Yes, you want me to throw it? No, he plays hard to get with the tennis ball. So anyway, here we go. This is not talking about Cloudlet video today, even though he is 1 year old, so I should do a video. Go get it. All right, it's gonna be a wild one, guys. It's so funny. Everybody is out of the house today. Both kids are at school, and Johnny went into the office. I'm like, oh, this is a perfect filming day. And then Goober over here is just stealing the show. I'm sure you're not even paying attention to me. Just paying attention to this Goober. He needs to go to the groomer, so he's kind of scruffy around the edges. Okay, anyway, so this is Pillow Chat. This is where I talk all things Peloton. I don't necessarily cover all of the Peloton news, just things that I find relevant that I happen to hear, but I am not a diehard, like, know every news thing about Peloton. I did end up joining Audible, I don't know, the last few months. There was some sort of deal where you got like 3 or 4 months. They were like $5 something each, like $5.95. It ended up working out to be a little over $6 with tax and everything, but I ended up joining that and really enjoying Audible. And then my next book that I purchased was a Cody Rigsby book. And then when I purchased his book with my credit, I saw all the other Peloton instructors, and I was super excited because they have, so far that I've seen, they narrate their own book, which is great. I love it when authors are able to narrate their own book, and yeah, super excited about that. So I did get Cody's book. I'm right now reading Crime and Punishment by Dostoevsky. It was one of my favorite books growing up, like during high school, college age. It's one of those that really just lit me up, and I am reading it again, and it is really good. And I mean, spoiler alert, if you haven't read Crime and Punishment by now, I highly recommend doing it. He just went through with the murder, and I'm gonna leave it at that, and that's semi of a spoiler, semi not of a spoiler. So that's where we are in the book, and I just love it. I love the psychological aspects of it where you really get to hear his thoughts and stuff, and I'm trying to be serious here, and then the dog's just munching on the tennis ball. Anyway, love that book, but I'm super excited to listen to Cody's book, so that'll be my next one. I did also end up purchasing one other book. I'll put the title down here. I had 2 credits, so I needed to purchase books, and yeah, I'll put it down here. And then I went to cancel my Audible, and they gave me a 50% discount or something for the next 3 months. So I'm gonna be a subscriber for the next 3 months. I find $15 a month to be steep to get one audiobook. Just personally, I find that really steep. I do listen to some of their free ones too, but I find 15 steep. So when they lower it down for a discount for so many months, I will be there. If it was under 10 bucks every month, I would be there, no problem. But it's when it hits that like 10 and over mark where I really consider subscription-based things like that. But so far, loving it. It's super easy to cancel the thing whenever you want. I've gone in and out of using it for, gosh, it said I've been an Audible subscriber since 2016 or 2017, something like that. So on and off, I've been a subscriber for a while. I really love audiobooks. I'll listen to them in the car when I'm by myself. I listen to them in the morning. I'm like doing chores. I'll listen to them like when I'm folding laundry and stuff. So it's just something that I can listen to throughout the day in snippets. And yeah, I'm reading like a physical book too in bed at night. I'm trying to read some books. Video is not about Audible. It just happens to be, I saw the Cody Rigsby book and I was like, oh my gosh, you know, all the Peloton instructors are getting books. So I'm going to try to listen to or read all of the Peloton books and let you guys know how it goes over time. That'll be my next one on my list, is reading Cody's. And I'm super excited. I saw Leanne Hainsby was writing a book, and somebody else just announced that they might be writing a book. I saw Ross Rayburn's book is coming out. I love his yoga and his sleep meditation. That first thing was just news about the books, but I'm excited to start getting into their books. I find them really inspiring. Obviously, I'm a Peloton person. Actually, I think this month is my 3-year Peloton anniversary because my workout anniversary is in December, but I tried the Apple Fitness Plus with the Apple Watch for the first 30 days. So I think I joined Peloton in January, which is really crazy to think about, that I've been on this journey for 3 years and I can't imagine my life not being a workout person. I was never that kid that like exercised all the time or did sports all the time. I dabbled with various sports. I did rowing for 1 year. I did hockey for like 3 years. That was like my favorite of all the sports that I tried. I did track for 1 year, hated track. I do not like running still to this day, but I was never like a really athletic, sporty person, except a few years in high school. I got pretty sporty, pretty athletic, but I've just never been that person as an adult. I have ended up losing weight over time, like fluctuating and then dropping back down and working out during those times, but that's it. Like I'm just not what I consider like an athletic or sporty or workout type of person. And the last 3 years I've slowly transformed into that. And I really want to make this year a really big year for me. So part of this video is me just rambling because I haven't been back talking to you guys about Peloton stuff in a while, but part of this video is going to go over my annual goals. I have them here written down, and I really want to make this year a big year for me. A big body transformation goal. I want to really push the strength and just test my body. And this is a really bittersweet video to film today because I had a migraine yesterday and it totally like mentally, emotionally, and physically derailed me from this workout journey I've been on. So today is the 10th, so yesterday was the 9th, but the first 8 days of the year, I was just on fire and lit up and super ready to conquer this year journey. And then I get the migraine, and in my mind, like it stops everything. And I'm like, oh, maybe I'm not capable of doing this whole workout thing. And I'm like trying to give myself grace because I can't control the migraines. I can control them to some degree, but this one was a sleep related one. Monday morning, kids went back to school. My alarm was set super early. Tuesday morning, yesterday, my alarm was set super early. Still not going to bed early enough to compensate for that. Just the sheer fact of switching my time, like my circadian rhythm, just totally messes me up. So the fact that like Monday morning, I didn't work out first thing in the morning. I didn't work out first thing in the morning Tuesday either, but I saved my workout for later in the day, Monday morning, knowing I tend to get migraines first thing in the morning. When I get migraines, I didn't work out. I was like trying to take it really easy because I knew waking up early was going to be an issue, and I made it through Monday and I was like, you know what? Things are good. And then Tuesday I woke up early. Things were good. I didn't work out yet. I was going to work out later in the day, getting excited about it. And then like 10 a.m. rolls around, and almost like 10 a.m. on the dot, bam, get the migraine. I was like, dang it, I know it is sleep related because my sleep was off, but that whole morning I felt kind of out of sorts. Even like going to bed that night, I felt kind of off, and I'm like, ugh, maybe I'm coming down with something. It never occurs to me like, oh, I'm in that pre-migraine state. You know, I'm just like, something doesn't feel right. I feel kind of tired. I woke up not feeling great, just like thinking, oh man, the tiredness has set in. And I think I even was journaling that morning like, man, I thought I was doing great. I was on top of the world, like high on life yesterday because the kids were going back to school and I was going to have my me time and get things done. And the second day I woke up and I'm like, dang, you know, I am dragging today, like super dragging. And it was me being already in that prodrome, that like pre-migraine phase. And we went out to breakfast that morning. It was Stella and Johnny and me. We went out to breakfast and he's like, are you going to eat? Barely picking out my food. It's like, you know, I'm not really feeling it. I'm not really hungry right now. It was already like 8:30, 9 a.m. So I should have been feeling a little hungry by then. He's giving me a ball again. But it was just one of those things where I'm like, yeah, I'm not feeling it this morning. I'm not feeling very hungry. And at that point, I didn't know what was going on. And then like an hour and a half later, I did get hit with a migraine. And then I get in that phase of, oh, I can't be this person I want to be. I can't be this workout person. There's a really big challenge to overcome, and I'm still grappling with those feelings today. You know, I want to be that person that can do all the... Oh gosh, he's got a ball stuck. I'm trying to share my innermost feelings and be kind of vulnerable, and the dog is really harshing this vibe I'm going for. But I just feel like I've tried so hard to really try to use lighter weights because I know that like the weights and the neck strain and all that stuff can be an issue, and I've been working really hard to take it really slow and easy for these first few weeks, especially. He's chewing it. But it totally derails. If I don't get my workout in that day, and even today I'm super sore from like shoulder blades up, shoulder area up. And I don't know if I'm gonna get a workout in today, especially not a strength workout. I don't wanna set off anything, and like, it's really hard to film this with the dog being crazy. So really it derails me not only the first day, but the second day too, because today I have to take it easy if I even get a workout in. So that's just part of it. And part of it is like, okay, I got a migraine, so what? I deal with it, I take a rest day or two, and I'm back at it, and that's fine, but I have to deal with that mental aspect of it. My whole world comes crashing down during that day where I physically can't function. I had to physically go lay down, even with all of the meds, even on the Nurtec, the preventative medicine. You know, stuff's gonna happen, and I have to be okay with that. And that's the part I'm not okay with. I'm just not okay with it. I'm not okay with having to like derail my plans. I was gonna have a really nice time with Stella that day. Johnny was gonna be working from home, and we were gonna just hang out, her and me, my little buddy. And I didn't get that time with her the first part of the day because I had to go lay down for a couple of hours, and Johnny has to adjust his schedule because he's working, you know? Like, he can't just stop everything normally, so he had to work a little bit later to compensate for missing some time. And it's a lot, and it's a lot to deal with, and it's hard to be okay with it. That's me today, like on the verge of tears, being like, F this, like, just so frustrated that my body fails me in some way. And it's one of those things like in the Daily Stoic, I read the Daily Stoic, and it just kind of upsets me because part of it is things that are out of your control. And my body is out of my control. Your health, to some degree, is out of your control. And I just have to find a way to be okay with that. And I'm just not okay with it. So it's really hard to battle those feelings of like, I know I need to give myself grace. I know it's not my fault. Of course, I could have like tried to adjust the sleep a little bit slower, or I could have just stayed on a certain schedule over break, which is not realistic because for one thing, we got totally sick. So there were a few days that I was not physically able to wake up a certain time, but some of it is just out of my control, and I just have to do the best I can. And I did the best I could over the break, and then switching into school mode, I just did the best I could. I was trying to watch everything else. I was making sure I was hydrated, making sure I was eating, making sure I wasn't straining, I wasn't doing too much stuff first thing in the morning. I was really taking it easy, doing some meditations in the morning, trying to keep everything else under control that I could. But yeah, I don't have control over it, and I can't, and I never will, and I will never have answers. When I do get one, I can suspect like, oh yeah, it was because I effed up my sleep time, but just overall, even if I had stayed waking up a certain time, things are still gonna happen. First of all, I still get a period every month. That messes me up. I'm gonna be ovulating at some point. I'm gonna get a period at some point. Those hormone fluctuations I cannot control. Like, those are biological things. So at minimum, I have no control over certain things like that. So I'm just in a state of frustration and trying to grapple with those feelings, like those uncomfortable feelings for me. I don't have control over it. I can want to control every aspect of my life, all the little moving parts, but at the end of the day, my body's gonna do what my body's gonna do. You know, I have to come to terms with that. And it's really, really hard when I want to do things. Like, I wanted to work out and get some more mileage in that day, and I couldn't do it. And today is gonna kind of suck as a workout day too. It goes beyond just working out, but in this aspect, when I'm talking about working out and I physically can't do it some days, it just sucks. I have these goals and I want my body to look and feel a certain way. I want to feel strong. I want to firm up. And when I have these days where my mind wants to do it, but my body can't do it, it's really hard. It's one of those things that I have yet to accept. Like, I'm a mid-30s woman. I don't accept that I'm a sick person and I have to have these days because I just don't want to. I want to be able to like get my 45 minutes in whatever days I'm able to do it. Even the Monday before, I only did 20 minutes because we were just kind of short on time. There was different things going on. I had one appointment that day, so it took up some of my like kid-free time, but I just have to wrestle with those feelings and those uncomfortable, unsettling, upsetting parts of my life. It is what it is. I'm a chronic migraine sufferer. It's a problem, and it's something that can't just be fixed or solved even with all the meds in the world, all the modern medicine in the world, it's still a problem I grapple with. And I know like there's lots of chronic illnesses out there, so I'm just one of very many struggling with the same things, the same types of things. I am thankful for what my body can do. I'm just when it fails me in these times. I'm really feeling my feelings today because I would love to be able to get 10 miles again today, and it's just not gonna happen. I'll be lucky if I do a 20 or 30-minute ride today, and I'll just have to be okay with slowing it down. And yeah, you know, when you're talking about like a week, that's 7 days. If I get one migraine, that's 2 days that are gonna suck for me, workout-wise, goal-wise, for miles and stuff. I have to learn to accept it, and it's just a hard lesson. And I know mentally it's gonna be okay to miss a day or two. It happens. It's gonna be okay if you miss months or years or whatever. Spent most of my life not being a workout person. This is a relatively new thing. It's this 3 years. And I have to ask myself during all this, like, do I wanna just quit? And the answer is no. I cannot imagine my life without working out. Like, I would be devastated if Peloton ever were to close. I mean, eventually maybe they'll close. I would be devastated. I love my bike. I love the instructors. I love the whole ecosystem. I would be completely gutted and devastated if Peloton were to not exist anymore. But I just can't imagine willingly giving all of that up. It's just such a big part of my life, even though I'm only working out at most like an hour a day. And most of the days I'm not even close to an hour, but at the most I'm working out an hour a day. Cannot imagine my life without that aspect. So the days that I don't have that, it's hard. So I'll do some meditations those days and have to just call it good. I still want to get my blue circle. I'm still in the Peloton cult. I want to be involved in the Peloton stuff. I'm in all the Peloton Facebook groups and I love all of those groups. Such a big part of my life. And I can't imagine it not being there, and the days that it's not there, like those migraine days, those days are sad. Those days are sad in more ways than one, but one of the sad things about it is my Peloton stuff has to go away because I can't physically do the stuff. Enough rambling, enough like pity party. I just wanted to get that out there because it's such a part of my life, and as much as it pains me to have that, it is what it is. So there's gonna be gaps, and that's just something I'm gonna have to be okay with. So I got the first 8 days really, really good in here, and then day 9 and 10 are gonna suck. I've got a couple of different planner related things I wanna talk about. We'll switch camera angles in a minute, but the main first one is my annual goals. They are in my little Franken planner. This is a Moxie Life goal setting planner mixed with an Erin Condren hourly. I Franken planned this. I have a whole video on it, how I stuck the two planners together and made a perfect little planner for me. I'm very excited about that. So this is the section for health related stuff. It's this like bluish color. It says health and wellness. So this is my annual goals. They are on Post-it, so I will adjust. I'm gonna have my same goal, my main like overarching mileage goal, the same as last year. It was 2,000. Well, did I hit 2,000? No, I did not. I had 2 months of the year that I basically didn't do any mileage whatsoever. So we're talking about, I'm upset I had 2 days of break. Looking back at last year when we got hit with COVID, we got hit with the flu or something in December. So we had 2 months of like really nasty stuff. And it's always the case where we get the really nasty one, it lasts for a week or two, and then we're just hit with those like little ones after that that just totally kick my butt. Like the kids are fine. The kids don't have that big of issues with most illnesses. The COVID one hit me really hard in September. I was just not in a place to work out at all. It felt like I had chronic fatigue. I was just tired all the time from the time I wake up to the time I go to bed, and there was no working out that month. So that was just a whole month just wiped off of my workout routine. Then we had some sort of like flu-ish type thing during Christmas, and then Christmas festivities all with that. So December was also a wash, like just a complete wash. So I ended up over the whole year last year getting 906 miles, and I really, really wanted to hit at least 1,000 miles. Did not happen, and I have to, again, be okay with that. That is what it is. We dealt with some circumstances that just weren't ideal certain times, and of course migraines played a big part of that. I started the year last year with major migraine issues. I finally got that working out so that now I only get like maybe 1 to 3 a month, and that's a good month for me, especially like going from having like 3 a week. Like, can you work out when you're sick the first day and feeling horrible, you know, not your 100% the second day, and you're doing that 3 times a week? There's not working out during a lot of that. So that's just part of when I'm going through these really, really bad migraine spells. I'm out of that now, thankfully, but when I'm going through those really bad ones, it's just gonna be on the back burner. You know, you get more in survival mode during those. So going into this year, I've been really good about having just like somewhere between 1 and 3, usually just like 1 a month, maybe 2 a month, and being fine around the rest of that, which is great. It's just really great to start the year off strong, like on a much better place. Like having the one yesterday, I'm probably not gonna have another one for a while, and then I can get back into it after today. Like usually by the second day, I'm much better to be able to work out. All that to say, annual goals, I'm going to keep my goal still as 2,000 miles because not last year, the year before, I was really close. I got 1,900 something miles, and I was like, oh, for sure, for 2023, I can hit 2,000. No, didn't happen. I almost hit 1,000, almost. So I call that year like a really rough year. I think 2023 was a really rough workout year for me. It was definitely like the new shininess wore off, and I had to really dig deep for even getting some of those miles that year. And then 2024, I am just recommitting to all of the stuff. I really want to hit that 2,000 miles. That averages out to be, I want to say like 4 miles a day. I really don't know, honestly, maybe 5 miles. And it's a leap year, so I'm going to say 366 days. I'll say 2,000 divided by 366. Okay, it's like 5.46 miles, a little more than 5.46. So, I mean, on a good day, I can do a 30-minute ride. Most days, like ideal case scenario, I can do a 30-minute most days, and then Pelotondos and bigger events will push me up too. So if I can just, you know, remain really consistent with it, if I can just aim for that 30-minute, I might have said mile. I meant 30-minute if I said 30 miles. If I can aim for those 30-minute rides most days, that would totally get me to 2,000. If I could do that most days, not every day, but for a 30-minute ride, I get around 7.5 to 8-ish miles for ones I'm pushing really strong, and then about 7 miles for ones I'm taking it a little bit easier and lightening up on my pace. The last, gosh, I don't know, the last week that I've been back into it, I've been able to push my pace a little bit more and be more like 16 miles an hour versus 15-ish miles an hour. So that really does help me. If I can get to that 8-mile mark on those most days, that makes up for those days I'm not getting any miles. So I feel like realistically, in an ideal world, in an ideal scenario where I don't get migraines 3 times a week, I think 2,000 miles could be doable, but it is a stretch goal. That's a big, you know, that's a big lofty goal. My minimum I really want to hit this year is 1,000. So if I can get anywhere between 1,000 and 2,000 miles for the year, I feel like I have majorly succeeded. So that made it so that I got more mileage than last year, and it would be my best mileage ever if I got to that 2,000 mark. So that is my ideal case, is 1,000 to 2,000 miles. I'm backwards for you guys. 1,000 to 2,000 miles for you guys, but that's on here. It's gonna be my stretch goal. I didn't write any of that extra stuff down. It just says 2,000 miles, 2,000, and that's what I'm really aiming for. That's my main overarching fitness goal, is to really just hit that 2,000 miles mark. Anything above 1,000 is gravy. Ideally, I would like to hit that stretch goal, and it would be a stretch. You know, that would mean me pushing the tops of my athletic abilities and getting those miles in and committing to riding most days and not taking off days where I'm just like, man, I don't feel like it, but actually putting in the work when I am physically able to put in the work. And like yesterday and today, not physically able to put in the work, you know? And that's okay. I've got to plan for that and adjust for that. And that's my adjustment plan, is if I can hit that 1,000 mile mark, that's me committing to not having those days where I'm just like, I don't really feel like doing it, so I'm not gonna do it today. That's gonna be me being like, you know, I want that 1,000, I'm gonna get 30 minutes in on the bike that day. That's just where my mind's at. That's what I want to get done. And then I've got a couple of other things that relate to one of the planners I'm gonna show you guys, but the next one is commit to my wellness log and journaling about fitness, health, wellness, that type of thing. This one is a Wonderland 222, which again, we'll walk through how I'm using this, but it's food logging, it's self-care, it's wellness stuff, it's writing out symptoms, it is tracking weight, it's tracking different various metrics on a habit tracker, and I'm just trying my best to like become the most athletic version of myself this year, and it's going to be a bit of a transformation. We're going to talk weight in this video. I know I can do it, and it's just a matter of being consistent with it, because I'll get down to a weight I feel really comfortable in my body. I feel stronger. I'll be in that state where I'm like, dang, you know, I'm feeling myself. I really like the way my body looks and feels, and then I will get loosey-goosey about the eating habits and not tracking anything and not being mindful of stuff and going back to snacking too much at night, just in the mindless emotional eating that I just need to cut out completely. And it's really hard. That's a hard habit to break. When you do that most of your life, it's hard to break that. But this is me trying once and for all to commit. And that's not saying you don't have cheat days and you don't get to celebrate things too. It's just being more mindful of like not making that the norm. Like, it's not normal to eat a half a bag of chips a day. You know, that's what I like to do. I like to scarf chips or scarf pretzels, that kind of like salty snack thing. A lot of my other wellness goals are relating around this, like tracking it in the food log. I'm trying to make it more fun because I love pen to paper. I love pretty planners. So I'm making it into its own dedicated planner because I want it to be a big priority this year. And so far I've used this or used something very similar to this most of December. So I'm back into the habit of writing down everything I eat and just taking that pause and like just knowing I'm gonna have to write it down makes me think about it instead of just putting it in my mouth. And that's the disconnect. Like, I don't think about it, then it just happens and I'm eating extra couple hundred calories super easily. It's so easy to do. And if I am trying to hit certain targets and certain goals, that's not acceptable for the everyday basis. Like, I want it to be a conscious effort. If I want a treat or I want to have an extra splurge, that's okay and that's acceptable, but it can't be every day. And it has to be because I want to do it, not because I'm just mindlessly doing it, like mindlessly going through the motion of doing it. So having that just little disconnect of like, oh, do I really want this or what else is going on? Do I really want this or was I just gonna mindlessly snack because I'm bored? Do I really want this or was I gonna snack because I'm in a good mood and I just wanna live it up? It can be all sorts of numbers of things for me, and I have to have that little pause to ask myself if I actually wanna eat. It's so weird that there's this emotional component around it, and I think that's part of the diet culture scenario. It's part of the food industry scenario. There's so many things at play that go into why food is ultra palatable and why we want to mindlessly eat it and why it's so tied to everything. Like lots of celebrations, you're gonna eat. So I have to just have that little bit of a pause and really see if I'm actually hungry. It's not just like forcing myself not to eat until I'm super ultra hungry. It's just making sure I'm nourishing my body in the best way possible. And that is cutting out some of the junk food. It's just trying to pick better snacks. It's trying to eat nicer, healthier meals, not eating out nearly as much, even though we've been eating out quite a bit lately. We've had a couple of date nights because our babysitter's going back to college. So we're like squeezing in as many dates as we can. And that means we are eating out, but I've made better choices a lot of times than I would have in the past. Be like, getting a giant meal, eating the whole plate, feeling miserable. And I'm at the point now, I don't stuff myself. And so that's good, like not eating the whole bag of chips or half a bag of chips. I just have a little bowl serving of it and feeling satisfied. And that's part of it too. If I like something and I want something, it's not off limits and I don't restrict it, because if I say, okay, no chips ever again, all I'm gonna effing think about is eating chips. So I have to know I can eat chips whenever I want to. And then it takes away the power of the chip almost. Like it takes away putting it on that pedestal and craving it and thinking about it. It just is like, I can have chips whenever I want. It fits in my calorie count every day, because every day I've got a few hundred calories at the end of the day to have whatever snacks I want when I'm tracking stuff. I just build in that buffer. So it's not like I can't ever have it. I can have chips every stinking day if I want. You know how many days I've had chips? Like 3. Like in the last month, I've had chips like 3 times, because it takes away that, oh, chips are amazing and they're forbidden and they're naughty and all this mind game, crazy diet culture, food's bad and good stuff. I'm eliminating that by being like, I can have chips whenever the heck I want. Just brings this whole different aspect when it's written down pen to paper. It makes it so much more fun for me as a planner person. So I've really enjoyed this. Just tracking things and getting back into that mindset of like, okay, I'm gonna weigh out whatever it is so I can keep track of the calories. I'm not necessarily tracking my macros all that much, but I am concentrating on protein. And yeah, it's been really good. There's been very, very few times where I'm like, oh, I'm starving and I don't have a whole lot of calories left. It's not been that. I've given my body plenty of calories in my count. I'm not restricting. I'm not eating a toddler level of calories. There's a lot that goes into me trying to make this easy, fun, sustainable, something I can just do. And part of it is bringing in the planner. That makes a whole different aspect of it, and that makes it more fun. But there are a couple of things on here that relate to that. As far as my annual goals, the wellness tracker is it. Like this book, it's a full year book and I want to commit to using it the full year, fill out the entire giant book. This has weekly, monthly, and daily pages in it. So I'm doing some journaling, and part of the mindset stuff, part of the health stuff is in there. So it's all around just a whole wellness thing. It's not just physical stuff. All of it kind of relates to that wellness aspect of it. I want this to be my year, so I'm gonna really commit to this book. So commit to wellness, get back to the strength calendar, and I'm using the hardcore on the floor calendar as much as I thought I would. There are so many instructors that are amazing and I love them. And then there are some that I just do not jive with. I just don't like their personality. I just don't like their method of storytelling, or their voice grates on my nerves. And like, I say that as somebody who gets comments all the time about, oh, you sound like a dying seal. Like, they don't like my voice, and that's okay. I don't like everybody's voice either. So when I get those comments like, you sound like a dying cat, I'm like, thank you. And now I feel justified in not liking other people's voices too. Because like, everybody has those quirks and things. I definitely have certain people's voices that I just do not like. And there are certain ones, certain instructors that really overcomplicate moves. They're like, we are gonna make a new move up today. And I'm like, no, I just wanna do the regular old things. Like, I don't care if the classes are very repetitive. I like certain instructors that are gonna do the deadlifts. They're gonna do the regular squats. They're not gonna make up 14 different types of squats that we're gonna do to make the class fun and exciting. I'm like, just give me the normal like 3 types of squats or whatever, and we'll do those on repeat. I don't mind circuits, but there are ones that are like, we're gonna make up a twisty new fun squat where you're gonna jump and go upside down and twist your body in weird ways, and we're gonna do this during class. I was like, what is wrong with you? What's going on? Like, these are not workout moves. We're not doing gymnastics here. We're not contortionists. Like, just give me the normal move. So that said, I don't follow the hardcore on the floor calendar when it's somebody I don't really like. I totally substitute out classes. And at this point, I'm so new into my strength journey, I can't commit to the whole workout stack. And there are certain days they take classes that I don't like shadowboxing. I've tried one shadowboxing class, didn't like it, do not want to do it. Fitness needs to be fun for me or it's not going to happen. And so if I force myself to follow the calendar and take the shadowboxing classes or the foam rolling classes or what other classes I don't like on the calendar, it's going to be not fun for me. So I'm going to use it here and there and use it more as like a guideline of, okay, they have 2 arms days. I'm going to have 2 arms days. They have 2 legs days. I'm going to have 2 legs days. They do like a HIIT or shadowboxing type of day, like cardio day. I'm going to do my cardio on the bike, always. My cardio is always on the bike. It's not going to be doing shadowboxing and jumps and all that stuff. And yeah, it's just not. It's not going to be that. So as far as goals, the next one is continue with more mindful eating. And that's something I already have talked about at length in this video. Get to an AM workout routine. And this is the one where it's like, if I start getting migraines a lot, I will nix this one and I will make sure my workouts happen like midday. I want to do a midday one. I have done that recently because I haven't been waking up super early, but ideally I would love to be able to wake up at 6, get my ride in, get my kids off to school. That's my goal. Try to get that 30-minute ride in like first thing in the morning, where it's like before I even have to think about it, but I have not gotten back there yet. And that's just kind of an aspirational goal at this point, knowing I had a migraine yesterday, like at an early wake up time. So it's an adjustment. And I knew this first week back to school, I wasn't going to do morning workouts just to not tempt fate. I just didn't want to have to worry about migraine issues any more than absolutely necessary. So that's an aspect of it that is aspirational because I know it can be possible for me. I know I can do it. I just can't do it yet. I want to make sure I'm adjusted to the wake up time before I add in that workout time. And then also on here, start tracking weights and reps I use during the strength classes. So I really do want to build back up strength. I want to use heavier weights as possible as I progress, but for right now, I'm sticking it with really, really light weights. I'll show you in my fitness tracker how I'm tracking weights now. I have room for it in my fitness tracker, but that's really all of it. It's really just being mindful of stuff, trying to get those workouts in. And there was a day, like yesterday, it was our first day back at everything. I had an appointment like as soon as the kids go back to school, I'm like, we're making all the appointments. We're getting everything done. just because that's when I have my free time. So I had to get quite a few things done, and I was like, oh man, I only have like 30 minutes until I pick her up. I'm gonna squeeze in a 20-minute workout because basically like from the time I pick up one kid, it's just all day, the rest of the day. So yeah, I got my 20-minute workout in, and that was good enough that day. It's just the time I had left on that day. It was just gonna be a busy day, and I knew that going into it. I knew going into it I couldn't do that AM workout because I didn't want to mess with anything, but I did end up squeezing in 20 minutes. I was super proud of myself for that. So anyway, those are the kind of days sometimes I'm gonna have. I'm gonna have to squeeze it in when I can. I know I rambled a really long time, but I had a lot on my mind today, like, especially after having a migraine yesterday. I had a lot on my mind. I noticed the dog has fallen asleep. His tennis ball is right there. I'll take a picture real quick. I'll insert that picture in this video when I'm editing. Again, sorry for the long rant, and I just wanted to be raw and real with you guys because that's just part of my life, and it's the part I don't love talking about, but it's a part that's just necessary. Like sometimes I just need to talk about it for me, but I also, you know, I want to keep it real for you guys too. It's not all rainbows and sunshine, and I do feel like almost I have to justify, and that's just messed up. I feel like I have to justify those days I don't work out. Like 3 years into this, I know things are gonna happen. Bradley Rose talks about this in Rides, where he's like, you know, if you take a day or two or 5 or a whole week or a whole year off of your workout journey, you hop back in when you can. He went through a really traumatic thing. He ended up having a stroke at a young age. It was an anatomical thing in his brain, and that's how a lot of people find out they have weird anatomical things. They have a stroke or they have a heart attack or, you know, something very similar. Giant catastrophic thing, and it's amazing he's alive. It's amazing he can still work out at all. Like the fact that he is a Peloton instructor after having this massive life thing that he very easily could have died from, and especially like even if he didn't die, he could have been massively affected. And that's not to say he's not still affected, because he is, and he does talk about his struggles with that, but it's just a miracle that he is here. I try not to take my own circumstance for granted either. Like, not just hate on the fact that I get migraines, just be grateful of the rest of the time too. I'm gonna get choked up just thinking about like how close he was. And he's amazing, and he's such an inspiration. Gives me such inspiration. Like if he can do it and he can bounce back from what he went through, I can bounce back from a migraine day. You know, I put it in perspective like that. It's like, you know, people are dealing with way worse stuff than me, so I'm not trying to be like, oh, my life is the worst because I get migraines. I'm really blessed. I have a really good life, and I take a lot for granted, and I really try to have that spin on it where I'm like, oh, I'm so grateful for the days that I can work out, but during the days I can't work out and I'm pouting and I'm pity partying like today, I still try to remember how much worse it could be. And especially just recently having a really bad migraine spell last year, like mid of last year is when I really got better. It puts things in perspective for me. Like there were months I couldn't work out like I can now, and just one migraine's not going to set me back that much, you know? So I have to put it in perspective and come back down to earth and not have too much of a pity party, even though it does suck to have migraines, it does suck to have a chronic disease. Have to be grateful too. So it's just totally a mixed bag of feelings. With him just being so motivational, inspirational, I try to remember some of the things he says. It's like, it's a workout journey, it's a lifestyle, it's not a fad. And if it was a fad on a migraine day, I would just one day give up and not do it again. Like, oh, we're gonna sell the bike, we're gonna turn our home gym into something else and give up. And that's not been the case. And 3 years into it, I know that's not the case for me. And I can't imagine a life that doesn't involve working out. So that's just my commitment to it. So anyway, enough rambling, enough getting super deep. We're gonna hop into planner talk, which is very fun. So I've got 2 planners to walk through with you guys. I'll walk through the setup. I'll show you guys how I'm using them and how I plan on filling these bad boys out for the rest of the year. So let's hop into the other camera angle. Oh my gosh, guys, I had to restart my camera I think twice during my whole rest of my video. So this one's gonna be really long. I didn't realize like as I'm talking how long it is until I switched camera angles, and I was like, oh boy, this one's gonna be a really long one. So bear with me. The rest of the pillow chat videos will not be this intense or long or negative. I feel like this one was very negative, like getting into the nitty-gritty of my life, really feeling my feelings today. I really got deep into it, but I hope you know most of my pillow chats will not be like this. They'll mostly be fun and more lighthearted, but sometimes you're gonna get the struggle bus version as well. So anyway, these are my 2 fitness/wellness planners. So this one's my actual like Peloton fitness mileage, everything tracker. This one still has a lot of fitness related things, and I have a tiny bit of duplication between these two planners, but this one's more of like food logging, wellness, self-care, talking about body image, talking about hunger and all the things related to food, like some of the things I discussed in this video, snacking, mindless eating, really nourishing your body and loving your body. And I should have said this in the front clip, but I do all of this because I love myself. I love my body. I want it to be strong. I don't do any of this health tracking or food tracking or working out as a punishment or as a I hate myself thing. There's no self-hatred. I do this out of love. And that's a huge mindset differentiation that I feel like people need to make. Diet culture is toxic AF. Tracking your macros because you want to build muscle, that's not toxic. It can be if you go too far with it, but that's taking care of your body. So I do this as a way of taking care of my body, not to restrict, not because I want to, force myself into some box. It's not because I want to fit in a certain size of pants. It's because I love myself. I want to live forever. I want to look nice in my body. I want to feel nice in my body. I want to feel really, really strong. And I want to see some muscle definition. There are certain things about that are aesthetic related things, but it's because I love myself and I want to treat my body well. And that's why I do this. It's not because I want to punish myself. I don't think food is good or evil. I don't think you have to eat completely clean. I'm more of like a realist. Like, I don't mind fast food every once in a while. I don't mind going out to eat. Cupcakes are not going to kill me. I mean, I'm just, I'm at a kid's birthday party. Sometimes I'm going to have a cupcake. Sometimes I'm not because I don't really love cupcakes that much. But if that cupcake looks good and I feel like having it, you bet your butt I'm going to have a cupcake and not think twice about it. I'm not going to guilt myself at all. Like, this is not guilt. The food stuff, not guilt whatsoever. I can be mindful of it. We had family come visit over Christmas break and I overindulged one time. And I'm like, no, I'm not going to do this anymore. It's not because I'm like, oh, I feel terrible about this. I feel guilty about it. No, it's because my stomach freaking hurt. And I was like, man, I do not like this feeling. And I really connected it in. I'm like, okay, if I overeat, this always happens. And it was just that like light bulb moment for me where it's like, you know what? I'm not going to do this to myself anymore. That I get every time I overindulge and I just eat so much that I fill up my stomach so much and it just doesn't feel good. I'm not doing this anymore. And so I did it out of a place of love. Like, I'm not going to put myself through that. I know the consequences of eating like that. So it's not that I'm not going to eat stuff. Like, I had fries yesterday. No big deal. There's foods that people are like, oh my gosh, you can never eat these foods. I'm not like that at all. I want to come at this like when we're talking weight, we're talking working out, going at it from a place of loving myself. I just love myself enough to do it. And that's me this year, 2024. It's like, I'm going to get my stuff together. I'm going to love myself enough to stop doing the mindless stuff. Like, stop these bad habits of me just mindlessly eating. When I'm hungry, I'm going to eat. When I feel like having something, I'm going to eat. It's not going to be me doing it just because it's late and I can, that part of it. So I'm going to love myself enough to make nicer choices, make healthier choices for myself. And sometimes that is having the junky food or whatever. But that's what all of this is loving myself enough to put in the work and get where I want to be, get as strong as I want to be. So that's this. So anyway, 2 different planners. I've got the Sterling Ink Common Planner, and we're going to talk numbers. So like, if that's hard for you, definitely click out of the video because I'm going to show numbers and stuff. But this is the Common Planner. It's a compact size. So this one does not have a page a day. It just has a few pages in the back, actually 120. So not just a few, quite a few pages in the back. This one does have all the pages in the back, and there's 360, actually more than 366 days of planning back in the back. So each day I can fill out one of these if I want to. But this one, I put some cute little food related ones on there that I thought were cute. These are all Hubman and Chub Girl stickers, and I have a coupon code for them. And then this is a Moxie Life sticker that just came with an order. So I don't think you can order these any longer. There was a time you could order like the 5 or 6 pack or whatever of these vinyls from Moxie Life, but no longer. Let's go ahead and do fitness first, and then we'll talk about the other one. It does include weight, but in this one, I just set this up very simply. Got the unicorn on the front, which is one of my favorite sets, is all the rainbowy kind of thing. And then here is just a bunch of inspirational things to me. And I liked these ones because it's It's, you know, about choice, and it's also about like pushing yourself to your limits, to your body's limits, and seeing your capabilities. And I love that. And this, oh my gosh, this is exactly what I was just talking about. Eat like you love yourself. You know, I'm not going to stuff my body because it doesn't feel good to my body. And yeah, I'm going to eat like I love myself. I like this one too. See what happens if you don't give up. So I've got some that are from various Happy Planner packs of stickers. I have a few. I think some of these yoga ones are from Recollections, which is a Michaels brand, basically like Happy Planner dupe type of sticker book. And then these ones are from Plum Paper Planner. The little unicorns and cloud are from Hubbin and Chuck Girl, but I've got quite a few different things right here. Do it for you. Be obsessed with your own potential. Don't wish for it, work for it. Go for it, girl. It doesn't get easier, you get stronger. I can and I will. Strength is beauty. Choose to shine. Fix your ponytail and try again. So all of these just make me happy and inspire me. And again, they're about taking care of your body and making your body the best. I just want to make my body the best version that it can be. And is that going to be a six-pack? No, it's not. I don't care. It's just going to be stronger, less fluffy. I want to see some muscle definition. I want to see some triceps, that kind of thing. But here are a couple of things that I'm tracking here. Use Habit Tracker for upper lower body days, fitness, and workouts. And then on here, I've got this, I work out from the song by LMFAO. And then here's the workout day, and I included 10-minute minimum. So if I do a 10-minute workout, I'm considering it done. And I haven't checked these off. I'll go from time to time and check these off, but it's not an everyday thing for some of these pages. And then there's habit trackers, and these are quarterly pages. So it's got 3 months worth of habit tracking. That's what it looks like, blank. And then you get a monthly section. So I wrote out a few of my little monthly goals here. And then I've got the little daily habit tracker. And so I've set this as a fitness log, and I'm doing this very much like Coffee Monsters co-owner Helen. She's not a co-owner, she is the owner. It's just Coffee Monsters Co. But she's the owner. Helen did something very similar to this, and she just put like upper and lower body days. So I'm putting upper and lower body days, and some days are just going to be yoga too. That's fine. I'm not necessarily going to always do strength. And then some days are also just going to be riding days. Like this day, all I did was ride that day that's pink. And this day that's pink. So I've got a color code system here for what kind of day it is. And I'm trying really hard to make Sundays a rest day. I just was itching to still continue. So I just did some restorative yoga on the actual Sunday, but it can be blank or it can be a yoga day. And then I've got the color code. Pink is for ride, minty color is for strength, purple is for both, and then rest is the gray. And I have 2 different highlighters in my little pen pouch. So I've got 2 different versions of gray, but it doesn't really matter. But that's just my little rainbow I'm going to do around the numbers and the days of the week just to have it. And then here I decided to divide. I just added a line and divided out. So this is the amount of mileage I got for that day. And then this is going to be a running monthly total. So I'll have a total down at the bottom somewhere. And yeah, have a total for that month. So far I'm at 33 miles. I had the rest day, and then Monday I squeezed in 2 little quick strength things, and then Tuesday I got a migraine, so it ended up being a rest day as well. And then today is Wednesday. I'm gonna try to get on the bike a little bit later in the day. Hopefully I'll feel much better. And if today happens to be a rest day, that's okay too. But I'm really aiming to get on the bike again. And then the next flap is up here. This is the Hardcore on the Floor calendar. It is a Facebook group. I'll link to it down below. Most of these are I think all of these are substituted out. And again, I'm taking it really slow, starting getting back into strength. So I'm not going to stick to this. This is 20, 10, 10. That would be 40 minutes of pure strength. I'm not going to necessarily do that. I'm not taking any of the 20-minute strengths. I think I substituted this out for a 10-minute here. So I'll substitute as needed, but I like the overall guidelines of this where it's like this day, Monday is legs day. Tuesday is an arms. This is a hit day, which is not going to be something I do. This is a yoga and a stretch day, lower day, upper day. I like how they have it all outlined, so I will stick loosely to some of this and build up more and more as well. So here are the weekly pages. I'll show you what they look like. Like here's a completely blank one. And it's got the horizontal spread, and that's really all I super need for a fitness planner. I just like to write down things. I need someplace to write the mileage. I need someplace to write in my workouts. And then there's this extra page that I can write various other things on throughout the month. So that's what the pages look like. I'll show you guys my first week here. And it really is just literally writing down the class. Sometimes I write down who it's with, like I did yoga with Kira Michelle, and then I've got 2 with Maddie Majacobo, MM. Then riding, the rides right now are always with Bradley Rose, so I don't feel the need to ride in Bradley Rose. I'm doing his Facebook fan group's challenge, which is called Clear the Rose Garden, which I'll talk about in the back. I've got all my challenges and stuff that I'm working towards. But this is just a way that it looks. So I've got all my rides and strength and everything is written in. I even write in my 5-minute stretches, and then I track my mileage. So this is days that I have 2 different mileage things. I just add them up in the sidebar. So they're all just added up. And then here, I just documented a little bit like this. This is my first day back, 1-1. The strength class has really kicked my you-know-what. I am so out of practice. 2, the ride felt great. I am kind of sore, but expect DOMS Wednesday or Thursday. All right, this is the Wednesday. DOMS set in and I need a mostly rest day. I felt pretty good doing some core. I really get DOMS super bad after leg days. Something I need to research and see if I can help out a little bit. As far as things I write in here, I also am trying to track my weights. So for this glutes and legs, I took it super slow. I did 5 pounds. Again, I still got sore because I'm starting again, basically. Starting again on workout. And then here, arms and light weights. I had 3 pounds, but I dropped. And I didn't have anything lower than 3. So I ended up ordering 1 pound weights. They are here now. So when I do arms and light weights again, I will have 1 pound for those. And then here for this glutes and legs, I did 8 pounds. And then there were certain moves that felt really light. So I moved up to 10 pounds mid-class. So that's where I'm at, that range. It's like 5, 8, and 10 pounds. And then for the arms and light weights, I'm going to stick with 1s for now because the 3s I just cannot maintain the whole class. And those ones with Tunde just kick your butt. So again, another challenge, but here is into this week. And then Tuesday was my migraine day, and then today is Wednesday. I said short on time today, so I got my 20 minutes in, was happy, called it done. And these are all those same weekly pages here. And then moving into the back, it moves into daily pages after the last week of the year. So in these ones, I wrote out my challenges, and I will end up reviewing and talking about this little label printer. I'll link to it down below for you guys. It's super cheap. My best friend got one and loved hers. And I was like, you need to tell me more. And she told me it hooks to your phone so you can print, like use the app and make it really cute. So I made these cute little labels. So Maddie Core Challenge, it's basically every Maddie Magiacomo core, outlined it. And yeah, I put the dots when I've done them. These are ones I've done before from him, and some of them more than once, but I'm gonna try to keep track of how many times I run through each of these. I really like sticking with the 10-minute ones. Clearly I've not done 15 and 20-minute ones. Once I knock all of them out, I will go back and repeat the 10-minute ones, and we'll just see how many times throughout the year I can repeat them. I'm trying to do core a few times a week. And then hardcore on the floor calendar, you do core pretty much every day. That's what the name is from, hardcore on the floor. So yeah, this is where it's going to be mostly, hopefully, all lit up pink is this 10-minute section, but I do want to hit all the other classes as well. And then moving into the next one, here's the Tunde Arms Challenge. This is arms and light weights, and I have done this before, you can see. I think I've only taken 1 so far this year, but these are ones you repeat. So you repeat these 3 times, and then you go back to them again and repeat them 3 more times. So it would be like a 4 classes thing. So you repeat this one 3 times, 3 times, 3 times, 3 times, you go back to it, 3, 3, 3, 3, that kind of thing. So I was doing that. I've taken these multiple times, but this time I'm going to go all the way through just once, and then all the way through just once, and see how many times I get through it for 2024. I just like having it written out and being able to dot things off. Again, like with the planner aspect of it, it just makes it more fun for me. Like I know I'm gonna mark it off, so I'm super excited about it, and it just adds that level of extra motivation and fun. So this is the Hannah Corbin bar challenge that I just gave myself. These are the bar classes I have not taken with her yet. I have taken a lot of bar classes with her, but these are the ones I haven't taken with her yet, and they're just 10-minute ones, and these are ones I want to squeeze in with my workouts as well. So far this year I've done 2. Again, go down as many as possible and then start a new line if I get through all of them. And then this is the one that's like the most ridiculous one to write out. Like these ones are all just one quick little list on 1 page, no big deal. This one's more crazy. This one's the Clear the Rose Garden Challenge. He has over 600 rides. I've done about 300 of his rides, but I have about 300 left, and I wrote all of those out. Oh, what's that? I'm doing an apple challenge with the Bradley Rose group. It's called the Roses Rebels. Again, I'll link to this group because it's a fun group, but I basically wrote out all of the Bradley rides, and I ended up putting them in time frames. So 5, 10, 15, and these are only the ones I hadn't done at the beginning of 2024. And wrote them all out. And then here, new for 2024, I'm starting a new list. So it'll start on this page as well. But I'm really just trying to knock out as many of these for 2024 as possible. Not sure how many I can get through. It really depends on like how many I can knock out during Pelofondos or longer days. But my goal is to do basically like the equivalent of 30 minutes a day. So that would be one of these 30-minute classes, or maybe squeezing 2 20s together, because there are a lot of 20-minute classes. Now these are all 15s. Where's the 20 start? No, 20 minutes starts somewhere in here. I need to highlight. There's 20 minutes. Okay, I'm grabbing a highlighter and highlighting that bar. And for these, all of these challenges, I use the filtering on the Peloton app or the Peloton bike. I filter for not taken, so it will filter out all like these ones that are dotted off. So I don't actually have to look at this list to pick my classes for the next day. I just do it from my phone and stack my classes for the next day. So I don't have to worry about this. This is just an afterwards, I check it off on this list. I find it just really motivating to see the dots line up, especially like to get into the second line of it. I'm going to be super excited. This one's just purely check it off once and done. I don't anticipate ever getting through all of these for 2024. But if I did, I would just move on to another instructor. I don't know that I would go back and take these classes again, but there you go. It's got a few longer ones, but mostly 20 and 30 minutes. And I'm gonna try to just knock these out. So I can do 2 15s at a time, or a 20 and a 10, or 20 and a 15, or 2 20s, trying to build up. But yeah, this one's gonna be intense to try to make my way through as much of this as possible. And there are people who keep the rose garden cleared. That's what they call it. They're like, my rose garden is clear, because they've taken all of the rides over the last few years, but I really just haven't taken that many. I did so much more Power Zone last year than I had ever before, so that totally kept me out of taking Bradley Rose classes. But now I'm 100% Bradley Rose mode right now. So I'm clearing the rose garden. I'll probably clear it in 2025 at this rate. Anyway, there's my challenges. There's all this blank paper too. If I want to talk more about any classes or have things to discuss in Pelo chats, I can write it here in the future. Right now it's just the challenges. So I finish my day of working out. I'll come in this room afterwards and write out my classes, check my mileage, update my mileage chart, and then go in the back here and dot off whatever classes are relevant in here. So that's my little process. Love this book. I think it's super cute. I love this kind of crinkly Tomoe River paper. Oh, last thing I forgot to say in here. Okay, so the weekly page, if I feel like I did a really good workout week, and like if I have a migraine, I'm not going to punish myself, but all the other days around that, if I get my workouts in, and you know, I have the dedicated Sunday rest day, I'm going to give myself a sticker for the week, because you know, I'm a 5-year-old and I need my sticker motivation, but I've got a few sticker packs in the back with just this little Hobonichi pocket. And then I can give myself a sticker for the week. This one's just a decoration, but that's my goal, is to stickerify it as my own reward for myself. And yeah, so there you go. That's just totally the way my brain works, is like, if I get a sticker for the week, you bet your butt I'm going to be in the home gym more, because I want to get my sticker for the week. It's just how my brain works. Now moving into the wellness one, this one is just wellness stuff. I ended up writing this out, adding a few stickers. The Coffee Monsters Co. These ones are Hubman and Chub Girl. All these are Hubman and Chub Girl. I did use the clear cover that Wonderland 222 sent with the planner. I don't typically like the clear covers, but I like this one because it has a pen loop, so I can keep my pen with my planner. And this one I'm using as a wellness, self-care, and period tracker. I did end up adding a few stickers here too. This one's from Ink and Volt, turns someday into today, and this is just a Wonderland 222 sticker. It's their color scheme for this year, which I have the wild berry color, which I think is out of stock, but they do have other colors as well. And then as far as this, it could be an index. I haven't used it yet. And then here is my year in miles. So on the other one, again, this is where I said there's some duplication here. This is one of those duplication steps. Here I'm going to track monthly. I want to have a monthly total on these little columns, but here I'll probably end up writing in my monthly total, but I want the complete total for the year. I want to know at any day of the week, any day I go and see, I want to know exactly where my mileage is, and that's something I did not have written down. I would go check my Peloton every so often and look up my mileage totals. I will get sick here and there. I'll have gaps here and there. I just know that's inevitable, especially with 2 kids too. We do catch colds and stuff, and I will typically be able to ride through like basic little grungy colds, you know, the little funky things. When I'm sick, I'm not riding. If I get something, I'm down and out, I'll take a week off or 2 weeks off, depending on how long the symptoms last. Like if I have a coughing thing, every year or every 2 years, I get one of those like really bad, you're just coughing for weeks on end. I don't ride for those. I just don't. I take breaks. And then again, that's okay. I keep telling myself that's okay. And then here, I thought about tracking fitness or wellness goals. This one's still to be determined. I have everything written out so I can backtrack when I decide, or if I decide to use this, I can always backtrack because it's all written down, and those are just quarterly pages. So I've got a few of those. And then here's the tracker. I started testing this out in December, didn't really stick with it, but here is how I'm using it for now. And I am tracking my weight here at the bottom with a little bar graph thing. I haven't put in yesterday's or today's, which I need to do. I use Renfo. It's a scale, but it has an app. So this was this morning, 185.6. Oops, 185.6. It tracks metrics, like you have to take your socks off so it can feel your feet. There's like little things on the scale. It's really cool. I really like it. And then I also had their measurement tape, which I do not have. I lost the back of it and couldn't keep the battery in. But here's where you can like see your bar graph, and this is where I want to like have my own little bar graph here. So I need to put in yesterday, which is 184.2. So this is like in real time. Having the migraine didn't end up going back to much of the planning stuff. 184.2. And then today, back up a little bit again, like I know certain things are going to happen. Like when I take all the migraine medicine, I really, really try to stay hydrated. I am up a little bit in weight. I also ate a bunch of salty stuff because we went out last night. I know that's going to happen. And this day we went out and had Mexican food, chips and salsa galore that day. I was up 2 pounds when I woke up in the morning. Like I did not gain 2 pounds. This is water fluctuations, different things like that. So just knowing patterns, this is me at the tail end of having my period. I know I'm going to be up. So it's not a big deal. You know, I've been around the 186, 187 mark the last little bit of time, but it's just one of those things where I just know they're going to have those fluctuations, like a 2 pound fluctuation, totally a normal thing, not a big deal. I don't get caught up on the number on the regular. I just want it to kind of slope down more. Okay, so 184.2 and then 185. People say the scale is a liar, but I like to see these fluctuations. When I'm tracking every day, the number starts meaning less and less, and I like that. So 184 would be here. I'm just following my dots from before, and then 185.6, and these ones were 185.8 and 6. I went ahead and put them in the 186 line because it rounds up to that, which then thinking back, I was like, oh, I probably shouldn't do that, because then if it was 186, it would still be in the same dot. Okay, anyway, maybe I'll skip a little bit more than that. But there you go. I'm going to track my weight. Overall trend, I want it to see going down ever so slightly. I like tracking it for science. I want to be able to see these little weight logs. And then over here, as far as what I'm doing each day, I did meditate both of these days. I didn't do any working out yesterday. Monday I did 2 things. Now I can't even remember because that was too many days ago. This is why I write it down, and then I can come back and fill some things in when I don't go back to it. Okay, I did core and bar. So I have bar and core both on here. So that was Monday, bar and core, and that was all I did as far as that kind of stuff. And then yesterday I had a migraine, which I need to put a migraine one on here. I have it on a different spot. Oh my gosh, and then my writing was just terrible to the side there. This was a migraine day. That was horrible, like trying to write to the side. And then, yeah, got my migraine medicine I take every other day. I'm meditating every single day, getting rides in most days, getting some strength and stuff in most days. I like having some sort of chart. I thought about doing sleep. I love seeing people's sleep charts, but I really just hate keeping up with it, and I'll miss a couple of days of tracking, and then I'll be like, oh, it's ruined. So All of these metrics I can still track. Like one day I forgot to weigh myself, and that's okay. I skip a little gaps here and there, no big deal, but on the whole, I'll be able to like watch the trends. I love seeing people's planners when they have these little line graphs and with these habit trackers, so I'm really trying hard to fill all of this out to be able to have to look back at. And now as far as wellness tracking, this is about what it looks like. Here's my migraine day, and then I put in my workouts, but not as detailed of stuff here. I don't write in mileage, but I have like what I did. Bikes, arms and light weights. Bike, yoga, glutes and legs, core bar. Bike, restorative yoga. Like I write those in. I also write in things that fill my cup. Like a date night, that totally fills my cup. A family movie night, cup filled. He wrote me a love note, that fills my cup. Things like that go down in the bottom too. Spa Sunday totally fills my cup. And then this one, I had a little headache this day, small but very annoying headache. So I'm putting things to signify things. I also had a self-care. I do a little bit of self-care that day. And then here I put rough night's sleeps. I wrote in, I slept in that day. I went back to bed. And then, yeah, I thought about, on the first, I thought about writing down my protein, fats, and carbs, all my macros. But then I was like, I don't really care about the other macros. I really just care about the protein. So then I started writing in my protein grams. And then I didn't do that over the weekend. But I still have them because I'm in the MyFitnessPal app. So I still have them. I can still write them in. And then I divided this out. You know, it seems like there's 3 boxes here because that little darker line, I go ahead and make it like breakfast, lunch, dinner type of section. And again, yesterday I was feeling bad, so I just snacked on a few pretzels. My migraines have a lot of stomach things, a lot of nausea and stuff, so I really just didn't feel like eating very much at that point. And then by dinner time I was ready to go. But I'll write in, you know, some things up here. Meditation, which I didn't write in, but I did meditate all 3 mornings. And then moving back, nothing on the monthly. I did a few little like goals on that overview page, but here's what it looked like. I just was like food logging mostly in the beginning. And I was using a different tracker in November. So I carried some of that over when I realized that the book had started. The time frame before this, I was using a different planner, I think starting in November. So I've been doing this for a while and I really like the way it looks. It's just kind of evolved over time. And then here I started doing that like 3 different sections. I didn't write in anything else this week. I was just kind of playing around with various things. And then hitting it strong New Year's Day. And then feeling like this was too much. So then just tracking protein. And I do like to keep track of protein, so I might end up going back and writing that in, but I'm testing out not writing it in since it is in the app. I don't really have to duplicate everything, so keep some of it there. And then the back section here, here's my workout thoughts for today. Got frustrated that I couldn't work out like I wanted to, but this is like, some sections will be body image, some section will be food, strength, that kind of thing. Most of this is gonna be more personal stuff. Some days I don't write anything. Some days I write just a blurb or 2. I thought I would write a little bit, but then I carried it over because I was writing quite a bit. I got pretty heated about my workout inabilities when I get sick. But that's going to be how this is. This back stuff's going to be whatever's on my mind for the day. I don't have to use the page. And moving forward, I won't date all of these pages. I dated them this time, but then I saw I wasn't going to use it every single day. So I won't date these pages moving forward, but all the January ones are dated. I'll just add a date when I actually do use a page. So there you go. There's a look at my whole wellness and fitness journey. I'm using MyFitnessPal. I'm using a lot of workout related apps. I'm using that Renfo app as well. So I've got the Power Zone. Summit is the Peloton app. Conqueror Challenge, I've talked about that a lot on this channel. Let's see, I've got one. I'm still working on Estrada Real. That's the one I'm currently working on here. Let's see, I've got 368 miles left on that one, but I've got a couple other ones I've already purchased that I can work on too. So when you finish it, then they send you the medal, which is fun. I like collecting the medals. Basically do it to collect the medals and keep track of mileage on here. So I'm not tracking steps anymore. Last year I felt really ambitious and I wanted to track my steps. I'm not doing that anymore. I thought that was kind of boring. And then I've got the Scale app, the Health Fitness, those are both Apple things. And then doing the Challenges app with the Bradley Rose Facebook group. You can do that with an Apple Watch. And then MyFitnessPal. And then the Hardcore on the Floor calendar is a clickable PDF. So I just imported into Adobe Acrobat so I can click on those links and get to the classes. That's my whole workout stack there. And I'm going to cover this, and then I have the Peloton app there too. I keep that one out because I'll do meditation and stuff, and I don't always want to have to click over into the folder. So it's just in its own separate little thing, but that walks you through all of my goals for the year, where my mindset is. I'm super pumped to make some progress this year. I feel like this is my year, and last year I was kind of meh about everything. I really got out of motivation after my little uterine ablation. I did that in October of last year, and by this October, a year later, I was feeling back into it, back to really wanting to push hard again. So it took a while of recovery for that, and then it really messed with my mindset a little bit, but your girl is back. Even with migraine days, I'm back. Last planner thing to discuss, these little tabs are from a cheapy Amazon pack. There were tons of them. This is not even all of them, but they're just these little bars of sticky notes. You can stick them in planners that have pockets and stuff if you need lots of sticky tabs to mark things, but I just need, a few pages marked here and there. So I just picked colors I liked for various sections, and I have lots of these now. So I'll link to these, I'll link to my Inner Gelclena, I'll link to the various walkthroughs and planners. I don't think I have a coupon code for either of these planner companies, but I do have a coupon code for the Hubbin and Chub Girl, and I do have a Moxie Life coupon code. So if you want the coupon code for my annual goals book, the Moxie Life goal setting book, I will link to it down below for you guys. I got a 10% coupon from them, and I'm an affiliate for them. So I just stuck my Moxie Life and Erin Condren together here. I also have an Erin Condren coupon I can stick down below for you guys too if you're a new customer. But yeah, I'll leave all relevant links and stuff down below for you guys. I am super excited. Let's go 2024. Yeah, I know this one's gonna be really long, but in the future they won't be. I had just so much ground to cover for the first one back. It's been a while since I filmed one, first of all, but I'm super excited to be back. I love my fitness and wellness set up for this year, and I cannot wait to make 2024 an amazing year. So I hope you guys will join me on the journey. I don't know that I'm going to be filming a Pillow Chat every week, although I've had a few comments recently saying that you guys liked my Pillow Chats. They just happen to be videos that generally don't get a whole lot of views. It'll be like maybe 100 views on that video, where my planner videos will get hundreds to thousands of views. My Pillow Chat videos don't typically do that great. So it's just one of those things that I like to film for me and self-accountability, but I didn't realize you guys really looked forward to them. So we'll see, maybe every other week or so, or maybe monthly updates moving forward. It won't be every single week, but it'll be sprinkled in. So be sure to like and subscribe and follow me along so you know when I post the Pillow Chat videos. Happy New Year. Hope you guys are off to a great start this year, and I will catch you next time.